Shubhodayam. Welcome all to the 7th batch of certificate course on Sanatan Dharma, organized by Veda Samskriti Samiti and Vishwa Yoga Vidyapith. Today we'll be continuing with Shodas Sanskaras by Dr. Visalakshi Garu. We start the day with Vande Mataram by Venkat Narayan Garu.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam, Suphalam, Malayaj Sitalam, Sasya Shamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Shubhrajyotsna Pulakitayaminim, फुल्लकुसुमिता द्रुमदलशोभिनीं सुहासिनीं सुमधुरभाषिणीं सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरम्.
ధన్యవాదాలు వెంకట నారాయణ గారు. థ్యాంక్స్ ఫర్. Now I request Padmapriya Garu to chant Prardhana, please.
Let us all start with meditation. 1 minute. Om. 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 Om Gananaan Tva Ganapatigam Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspatana Shrunvannotibhis Sidasadanam. Om Shri Mahaganadhipataye Namaha. Om Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhirvajinivati Dhinamavitrevatu. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Gurureva Gatir Gurumeva Bhaje Gurunaiva Sahasmi Namo Gurave. Na Guroh Paramam Shishurasmi Guroho Matirasti Gurau Mam Pahi Guro. ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिर्भेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। मातृदेवो भव पितृदेवो भव आचार्यदेवो भव अतिथिदेवो भव ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ
Hari Om Gurubhyo Namaha. ధన్యవాదాలు పద్మప్రియ గారు. Thank you very much. Now I request Visalakshi garu to continue with the webinar, please.
ఓం శ్రీ మహాగణాధిపతయే నమః. ఓం శ్రీ పార్వతీ రాజరాజేశ్వరాభ్యాం నమః. ఓం శ్రీ మేధా దక్షిణామూర్తయే నమః. ఓం శ్రీ మహాసరస్వత్యై నమః. ఓం శివాయ గురవే నమః. ఓం నమః శివాయై చ నమః శివాయ. ఓం నమః శివాయ. Now, among Shodasa Samskaras, we have completed 11 samskaras, 11th one, the Upanayana, which is very important and have great significance. Now, 12th samskara is Snatakotsava samskara. It is called as Samavartana samskara. Snataka. Snataka means actually Gurukula Vasa Nivrutti. So, returning home from Gurukula after completing Veda Vidyas, Veda Adhyayana, is called as Snataka Utsava. This Snataka Samskara is of 3 types. They are called as Vidya Snataka, then second one Vrata Snataka, and third one Vivaha Purva Kruta Snataka. Mostly all of us are knowing this third one thoroughly, Vivaha Purva Kruta Snataka. Vidya Snataka is that sort of sacrament performed by the Acharya, Guru, while giving permission to the disciples, to all the Sishyas, Brahmacharis, after completion of their education, after nearly 15 years or 16 years of hard study, observing hard celibacy, and leading a life with several restrictions and severe restrictions, making the body suffer a lot, developing enduring capacity, and with continuous education, and they work at hermitage without aspiring any desires, luxuries, not even comforts. So they must follow the words of their Acharya, Guru and Guru Patni, do whatever they ask them to do, then listen to and study the education taught by the Guru. And doing all the works, they have to go to the forest, collect the samithas, roots, fruits, flowers, what all are needed, the sticks, etc. for cooking and all. So when the Guru completes teaching them fully, he when he feels that the education is over, they celebrate this Vidya Snataka, then give the certificates to them and permits them to go home and get married by parents and enter into Grihasthasrama. Then they must start developing their Gurukula, and them what all they have learnt, they must teach to generation by generation. So preaching them about their duties before entering into society is the Snatakotsava here. So we are going to know about the Vidya Snataka Samskara here. This is the first one. Then second one is Vrata Snataka. After performing Veda Vratas, Deva Vratas, and completing them, the disciple performs Snataka, and that is called as Vrata Snataka. Third Snataka, of course, is known by all of us, Snatakotsava, performed before celebrating the marriage festival. Then almost all of us know, aware of this one, but only few of us know these Vrata Snatakas. And then Vidya Snataka. Of course, Vidya Snataka, all of us underwent, but under the name of convocation, the universities are conducting this Vidya Snatakotsava and giving us, distributing the certificates for either bachelor degrees or master degrees. So these Vidya Snataka and Veda Vrata Snataka, both are called as Upaya Snatakas. So it is said in Parasara Smriti, in Achara Kanda, it is said like this. Gurave tu varandatva snaniya tadanugnyaya veda vrataniva param nitva kyupayam evava hi upayam evava. The Mimamsa Vartika says Snatopalakshita cha atra nivrittihi guru veshmanaka. Veshma means house. Returning from the house of Guru. During Gurukula Vasa, brahmacharis sleep on the ground, get bhiksha from household people, gruhastas, and they give that, hand over that to Guru Patni, and study continuously throughout the day, and go to the forest and collect fruits, roots, samithas, etc. Now, after completion of education, they leave all these restrictions. Take Abhyangana Snana, apply even scent to the body, wear garlands over the neck also, and wear the clothes suitable to Nagarikas, the people stay at cities. They get ready to go home now by that time. To make them thus ready to leave the Gurukula to go home, return homes is called as Snataka Samskara, Vidya Snataka or Samavartana Samskara. The Kratu done at that time is called as Utsarjanam. So it would be observed by the Guru either on Paushya Suttha Paurnami, Pushyamasa Paurnami, or on Rohini Nakshatra. Shastra says Taishyam Paurnamasyam Rohinyam va Viramet. So them Virama means Virama, giving rest, stop. They must stop either on Paushya Suttha Paurnami or on Rohini Nakshatra. That day both Guru and Sishya do pranayama and take sankalpa as Sri Parameswara Prityartham Athitanam Chandasam Saviryatvaya Adhyaya Utsarjanam Karishye. So saying they should do exactly as they did at the time of Upakarma. That is to do Mantaparadhana, Navarishi Avakana, Puja, Tarpana, Agnimukha, Homas, etc. That procedure. And pray all the gods with pranamas, namaskarams. Namaskara got very great good significance. It is one of Pancha Pranavas. Pancha Pranavas are Omkara, Swahakara, Swathakara, Vashatkara and Namaskara. Swahakara is when we do the mantras with Swahakara, gods come and take the offerings. For offering to Pitrudevas, we say with Swatha, Swathakara. Vashatkara is Vaushat, as we say at the time of doing these Karatalakara Prusta, etc. We say Anganyasa, Karanyasas and Nitya Pujas, etc. So even at the time of Yagas, Yajnas, they say Vashatkara. Vaushat, they say. Then Namaskara, Namaha means na mama. It is not mine, it is yours. So with that intention, we pray God and we bow down, do pranamas to Paramatma. We do Namaskara, saying that the whole universe is, all the properties, all luxuries, everything is given by Paramatma. They are not mine, they belong to you. To the elders, to the parents, to honorable people, we do Namaskara with the intention that you are greater than me in jnana, in the knowledge, in the age and everything. So I am offering you my that is my namaskaras and showing the humility, vinaya pradarshana. So that is namaskara. So after doing namaskaras and taking sankalpa, doing everything, they completely complete that process given as per Shastras. Then they should pray that what all they have studied all these years at Gurukula should remain with them forever and must increase, that knowledge must increase, and they should get the fruit of the knowledge. The final fruit of knowledge is always getting highest knowledge and getting liberation, having Atmanatma Viveka Jnana, and thereby Jnana Devatu Kaivalyan so Mukti. And also to pass it on this knowledge to others. So that is the purpose of the knowledge. For several years, the Acharya and his wife took care of all these disciples as if they are their own children. Without taking a single rupee, they teach them. Now it is the duty of the disciples to pay Guru Dakshina to their Guru as per their capacity. On Ashadha Paurnami, which is considered as Guru Paurnami. So on that day, they have to give some Guru Dakshina, and taking the permission of Guru, they can leave that ashrama and go homes. Mostly parents would come and offer Guru Dakshina and take their children along with them. The word Guru Dakshina reminds us of the story of Kautsa. Varatantu Maharshi was a great Guru, Acharya, and so many students were there, and Kautsa was one among them. So Kautsa comes from a very poor Brahmin family. And when the education is completed and Guru permitted them and did Snatakotsava, then all the Vidyarthi students, they offered some Guru Dakshina as per their capacities, and all of them left. Kautsa was just waiting, and when all of them left, Kautsa came to Guru, did pranama, and then asked Guru what he should give as Guru Dakshina. Then the Guru said, your Vinaya itself is enough. You have studied with utmost care and interest. That itself is considered by me as Guru Dakshina. You need not have to give anything to me. I am blessing you. And thus, even though he said twice, thrice, again he repeated this Kautsa, and he said, I want to follow Sanatana Dharmika way of life. So I will give Guru Dakshina not according to my will and wish and capacity. As per your wish, I want to give Guru Dakshina. So you please tell me what you want me to give you. Then the master gets anger. He says 2-3 times, he said he need not have to be given anything. Vinaya itself is enough. Even then, he is repeating. So he got a little anger, and he thought that if he asks for something which is not affordable by this boy, he will return home. So with that idea, he said, because I taught you 14 Vidyas, you should give me 14 crores of gold coins. So 14 crores of gold coins, how can such a normal boy can give? He says, okay, with your anugraha, if your anugraha is there on me, I can get it. So he bows down, does pranama, goes out, and then he thinks whom he must approach to get such a big amount. Then he remembers of Raghu Maharaja, who was the ruler at that time. So he went there. By the time he reached there, actually, Raghu Maharaja performed Vishwajit Yaga. Mostly sages and Kshatriyas, kings, they do this Vishwajit Yaga, and kings do Ashwamedha Yaga. For performing both these yagas, they must completely conquer all the other countries, and they must be declared as the monarch, Chakravartis, and all other people, kings, Samanta kings, they must oblige this king and accept him as monarch. So they will give some money, gold, everything, Navaratnas and all as the gift. So many gifts have come from different countries. So the condition of Vishwajit Yaga is, the process is there. As per that, he must complete all that yaga. After completing the process, what all he possesses at that time, he should donate it to all people, Brahmins, Veda Panditas, scholars, poets, and ordinary people, and even poor people, if at all there. So in those days, no poor people were there. Even then, to all of them, kings and such Brahmins, they used to give. So he completely donated everything and left with mud pots. So at that time, Kautsa went. So he thought, Why to see the king when he is not having anything? But because he has already come there to that country, so he wanted to bless the king because he is Brahmin boy. So he went there. Then king received him with utmost honor, washed his feet, prayed namaskaras, and requested him to tell the cause of his arrival. Then Kautsa said, when once the cloud rained, even Chataka bird does not ask request the cloud to rain again. So because you did this Visvajit Yaga and completely distributed your entire money and left with mud pot, so I do not want to disturb you. Shubham Bhavatu, I want to leave and go away. Then Raghu Maharaja says, somebody, great people coming to Raghu's dynasty, not Raghu's dynasty, Suryavamsa Rajas, and going without taking anything, without fulfilling their desire is not possible to our kings. That would be ill-fame to my ancestors. So I certainly want to do whatever you need now. You please tell me. And then he said what all happened in between Guru and himself. So 14 crores of gold coins are to be given to him for Guru Dakshina. Raghu said, all right, you please stay for 3 days in my this royal palace in Agni Gruha, shining as the fourth fire. In those days, 365 days, all completely 24 hours in each and every house, the fire would be burning in the Vedic altar, Yajna Vedika. So Agni Gruha was there. So Akhavaniya, Dakshinagni, Garhapatya. Garhapatya, Akhavaniya, Dakshinagni are the 3 fires. You shine like 4th fire and stay for 3 days. Only for 3 days. So he accepted. Then that day itself, Raghu Maharaja requested his guru and got the Supha Muhurta to go on expenditure to Alakanagara for getting this money, fighting with Kubera, because he is the king. He would not request or beg or ask anybody, because human beings, the kings on the earth, have already given money for him. They gave money for this yaga. So he wanted to take money from Kubera, but not by asking, by fighting, because he is Kshatriya. So the Guru asked him to take that vrata vow and stay there in the chariot itself during that night time, take rest, and early morning he must start his travel. Then, okay, he is taking rest, and suddenly Koshagara, Rakshakas, they came running with so much hasty, and they said that, hey Maharaja, some wonder happened. The doors were closed only. Even then in the Koshagara from above, the gold coins rainfall has come. Gold coins have fallen and the room complete Koshagara was filled with gold coins. So he could understand. So he offered his namaskaras and gratitude to Kubera. Because Kubera does not want to fight with him, Raghu Maharaja, the solar kings were the helpers even to Devendra. So he himself offered money. Then he left there. Then the next day morning, he called a big sabha. Everyone came to that sabha. And this Kautsa is also there. Then Raghu Maharaja said, he showed that heap of gold coins in the Koshagara to Kautsa and said, you please take that entire money as Guru Dakshina and offer it to your Guru. I will send this by chariots, camels, horses, elephants and all. Then what sort of dharmika nature is there in both of them? Kautsa said, you please count the coins and give me 14 crores only, not one less, not one coin more. It appears as if it is more than the required money. I do not want to take any more. Then Raghu said, all this money has come. These gold coins have been showered by Kubera to be given to you to offer as Guru Dakshina. So I should not touch them. Even a single coin, if I take, that is atharma. I cannot use this gold either for myself or my people. So you please take that. So for the dharmika swabhava of both of them, gods became pleased. They showed flowers. Then finally Maharshis came there and convinced this person only, Kautsa, to take that money and hand it over to Varatantu Rishi, who can support all other Gurukulas by this money. So that is the greatness of Dana. And so Guru Dakshina got such great significance. Sri Krishna Paramatma, he brought the dead child, the boy who was dead actually, Marana, the son of his Guru, Sandipani Maharshi. Such wonderful dakshinas were given, but it is not possible to ordinary people, of course. So that Guru Dakshina, normally the people who give Guru Dakshinas to the Guru at the time of Snatakotsava and leaving, that would be utilized for feeding the students and taking care of all the disciples. And every year, for the first time, for 15-16 years, king will take care of the first batch. When once the first batch enters into society, then they start giving Guru Dakshinas, and by through those Guru Dakshinas, the ashramas would be maintained, and every year one batch would be going out. So they would be giving plenty of Guru Dakshinas, by which the Gurukulas are being run safely without any hurdles. So continuously students would be studying for all these several years and all, and struggling a lot, tired so much. So they become very much pleased to meet their parents. But at that time, for such Vidyarthis who are ready to leave and go homes and set their Gurukulas, Acharya gives his final instruction and final advice. Just as the mother and father, though throughout the life till that time, they teach good habits and noble qualities to their daughter, even then at the time of celebrating marriage and after marriage, when they are sending her to in-laws house, finally they give some instructions to them how to live there and all. Even Kanva Maharshi advised to Sekuntala at the time of sending her to King Dushyanta, Susrushasva Gurun Kuru Priya Sakhi Vrittim, like that he says. So in 4 slokas they became very famous. Kavyeshu Natakan Ramyan, Tatra Ramya Sekuntala, Tatra Picha Cheturthonkaha, Tatra Sloka Chetushtayam we say. So what all instructions are given by the Guru at the final stage, he has become the a sort of Veda Anushasana. Everyone has to follow this. And mostly nowadays, even at some universities, chancellors, they are conducting, they are repeating, reciting and advising the students to follow the meanings of all these. So this is explained in Ekadasha Anuvaka of Sikshavalli of Taittiriya Upanishad. I will just recite once and then one by one each sentence I will explain. Om Vedamanu Chacharyonte Vasinamanu Shasti Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara Swachaya Anma Pramadaka Acharyaya Priyam Dhanamakrutya Prajatantum Ma Vyavachetsi Satyanna Pramaditavyam Kushalanna Pramaditavyam Bhutyaina Pramaditavyam Swachaya Pravachanabhyam Na Pramaditavyam Deva Pitru Karyabhyam Na Pramaditavyam Matru Devo Bhava Pitru Devo Bhava Acharya Devo Bhava Atithi Devo Bhava Yanyanavajyani Karmani Tani Sevitavyani No Itarani Yanyasmakagam Suchiritani Tani Tvayopasyani No Itarani Yekecha Asmat Sreyagam So Brahmanaka Tesham Tvaya Asanena Preshvasitavyam Shrethaya Deyam Ashrethaya Adeyam Shriyadeyam Hriyadeyam Phiyadeyam Samvidadeyam Atha yedite karma vichikitsa va vritta vichikitsa va syat ये तत्र ब्राह्मणाः सम्मर्षिणः युक्ता आयुक्ताः अलूक्षाः धर्मकामाः स्युः यथा ते तत्र वर्तेरन् तथा तत्र वर्तेथाः अथाप्याख्यातेषु ये तत्र ब्राह्मणाः सम्मर्षिणः युक्ता आयुक्ताः अलूक्षा धर्मकामाः स्युः यथा ते तत्र वर्तेरन् तथा तेषु वर्तेथाः एष आदेशः एष उपदेशः एषा वेदोपनिषत् एवमुपासितव्यम् एवमुचैतदुपास्यम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Now Acharya and Shishya we say. Acharya means the teacher, the instructor who studies, who had already studied all the Shastras, Vedas, Vedangas, gained Vedic knowledge and complete knowledge comprehensively and comprehends the meaning and essence of Vedas and establishes them in practice, who practices what all he learnt and is teaching. And such a person is called as the Acharya. Achinotihi shastrani achare sapayatyapi swayam acharate yestu sa acharya iti smrutaka. Then what all he had studied, he would teach to the disciples, Sishyas. Acharya is one who stores and germinates the mysteries of Vedic theology in the disciples by teaching them. So with all so many anecdotes and upapattis, examples, he teaches them. Antevasi, we say for disciple Vidyarthi. Antevasi means one who always stays near the Guru, one who stays, follows the instructions of Guru, teachings of Guru. Antevasi, one who stays near. Not only sitting, staying near, but following the teachings of Guru. Such a disciple is called as Antevasi, one who offers Trikarana Suddhi, we say. His Tanu Manathana, he completely offers for the service of Guru, is called as Antevasi. So Manovakaya, we say Manaha Vakkaya Karma. With all these three Karanas, he must follow what all Guru taught him, the knowledge he must gain, and what all he has gained, he must pass it on. So, Veda Manuchya Acharyaka Antevasinam Anushasti. This is the first sentence. After completing teaching the Vedas to the students, for which they deserve, for which he deserves, the master instructs the students like this as the final verdict. So it is Anushasana, Veda Shasana, edict, as we say, edict, E-D-I-C-T, edict means Shasana, Anushasana. That is given following the teachings, that is after instructing the Vedas, after teaching fully, then a final advice is being given. Vedam Anuchya, Anuchya. Fully teaching. When Guru is saying, Sishya would repeat that Anucharana, we say. So this is the Shasana edict made by Paramatma, Parabrahman in the Vedas. So how can the edict be disregarded? So we cannot. All human beings, entire mankind must follow these instructions, because this is not only taught by Guru to some Sishyas, it is the Veda Shasana. So it is to be observed and followed, just as the Shasana of the king, Raja Shasana, edict of the king or government, is to be followed. So without any questioning, we must follow the Shasana of Paramatma as we follow Shasana of the king. So the Shasana of Acharya is also of the Shasana of Paramatma. It should be followed. The Vedas are called as Prabhu Samhita. Prabhu means the king, master. The disciples must accept and obey the instructions of the Acharyas. like the edict. So this is the teaching and edict given, the advice given by the masters to the student finally. First among them is Satyam Vada. Speak truth only, always speak truth. Satyam. Sat means to be, unduta we say, that which exists. So that which is existing continuously in all times, in all kalas, for all people, every time, that is Satya. That is Sat. Sat, Chit, Ananda we say. Existence, consciousness and bliss, these are the characteristics of Brahman. So Sat is that. Satyam means Upanishad said Satcha Tyatcha Satyam Abhavat. That which exists firmly without any change, and that which changes from time to time, person to person, place to place. Both are called as Satya. That Satya is to be followed. So normally Satya means Trikala Abhathita. It is not to be changed in all three, past, present and future. It is always, it remains same. The Upanishad describes Satyam as Sat and also Satya in both the ways. Sat means existence, that which exists forever. So this Sat means actually existence means only Paramatma alone exists always without any change. If any vikara change comes, that cannot be Sat, Satya. So Satya means Paramatma. Satyam Vada means always speak of Paramatma, the ultimate reality. That is third meaning we can take from this word. So Satyam Yadartha Bhashanam we say in Laukika Artha. Truth is to speak what it is. So what always exists is God. So to speak about Paramatma, God, is also to speak Satya. So to worship divine with the speech and in the form of speech, it is truth. That is, we must utter what had happened, what is happening exactly. So Sat means that which never changes. That which changes to time is not Satya. That is only Laukika Vyavahara. So the first command given by the Veda Mata is Satyam Vada, to speak the truth. Now second instruction is Dharmam Chara. Always practice Dharma. Dharma, Dhru Dhara. We spoke a lot about Dharma. So I need not have to explain. In fact, about Satyam also we learned previously. So if we just speak of Dharma, it is of no use. We must practice it. So Satya is to be spoken and Dharma is to be followed. Then the next one, the greatness of man is to know Dharma, to live practicing Dharma, to live righteously on the right path and doing Swadharma, then following Sanatana Dharma given by the Shastras. And also we must support the nature to follow its Dharma without disturbing the nature and Panchabhutas and all. And we should not afflict any living creatures also in their way of life. Paramatma gave life to everyone, they can live happily, even that is following Dharma only. So to practice all physical, mental karmas, what all are related to us, we must do sincerely, even that is Dharma. So in several ways, Satyam Vada, Dharmanchara, both these two are the best teachings and commands of Acharya and of Veda. So we have to practice them by Trikaranas. Trikarana Suddhi must be there. Actually, what is Dharma? What is Satya? Anybody may get a doubt. So to clarify that doubt, the master is continuing his verdict again still. It is the Upadesha given to entire mankind, all human beings. So all of us should follow these instructions given by Veda and by Acharya. Veda and Shastra always speak in the form of command, Vidhi Vakyas, and also Nishedha. where vidhi command is called as taboo, the proclamations, and a prohibition, nishedha, in both the command and taboo. So command is vidhi, then taboo is nishedha. What we should not do is nishedha, preventing. So these vidhi vakyas should be followed without questioning. Now the third command is swachyayan ma pramadaka. Always be alert in doing swa-adhyaya, swachaya. Never neglect, never be lazy. Swachaya means studying the Vedas and Shastras. Whoever belong to whichever Veda or Veda Shakha, that should be studied thoroughly first. Later, if got interest, other Vedas also can be studied by everyone. And after studying them, manana is very important. Shravana, Achena, Manana, Nidhichasana. This is the process actually. Kalidasa Mahakavi says, Amnayanam ayugena vidyam prashithilamiva. If there is danger of forgetting what we have learned, if we do not do manana, so if the teacher teaches for 1 hour, the students must study for 10 hours. Devoting time, they must do manana, repetition, repeat continuously, and putting them into practice. So we should keep on reading and studying, writing, and also keeping in memory all these Vedas, Shastras, Puranas, everything, by which we can pay the debt to our forefathers, Rishis, everybody, to the Rishis mainly. Rishi Runa can be cleared by studying Vedas. So Pitru Runa would be cleared by doing Pitru Karyas. Then actually every human being by birth got 3 debts to be cleared. Deva Runa, Rishi Runa, and Pitru Runa. Rishi Runa also can be cleared by studying all these Vedas and all, doing what all they gave instructed. And Deva Runa can be cleared by doing Yajna Yagadi Kratus and offering oblations to gods. So thus these 3 runas must be cleared. Then after taking birth, 2 more runas come and get attached to them. They are Sankha Runa and Bhuta Runa. So all these 5 runas must be cleared. Now the 4th point is Acharyaya Priyam Dhanamahrucha Prajatantum Ma Vyavachetsi. The Sishya should pay Guru Dakshina to the Acharya who taught him knowledge and all, and get his permission, should enter into Grihasthasrama. And after entering into Grihasthasrama by marriage, they must give birth to children and keep up the progeny alive. The Vamsha must be kept alive. So, Praja means Santana. Praja Tantu Ma Vyavachetsi. Tantu means the thread, the connecting thread from Guru to Sishya, father to son, children, like that, generation to generation. So, not only keeping up the Vamsha by giving birth to children, another good meaning here is after paying respects and Guru Dakshina to Guru, when he returns back, he must keep up Gurukula. He must, what all he has studied, he must pass it on, that knowledge, to his students. And he must keep up the Guru Sishya Parampara continuously. That is, never cut the Guru Sishya Parampara. Do not cut it. Let it continue by teaching to others. And those students must teach to some others, like that. Generation by generation, Guru Sishya Parampara, the knowledge is being passed. So, Prajatantum Ma Vyavachetsi means Guru. The disciple must become Guru and again should make his disciples Gurus. So, Guru Sishya Parampara. So, without letting the thread broken, this Vidya, Adhyayana and Adhyapana are the duties of all the Brahmacharis. And after becoming Guru again, he must teach to Brahmacharis. So it is Dharma Purushartha, we say. accepting Guru Dakshina is getting Artha Purushartha, which should be utilized for the Dharma Karyas, Dharma, Artha and Kama. Three vargas we said, which should be gained and utilized. So by the money, the Guru Dakshina they are giving, the Gurus, they are doing the Dharmika Karyakramas and also maintaining the Gurukulas, which is their Artha, means Prayojana, which is their Kama, their desire, righteous desire. And finally aim at Moksha Purushartha, the fourth one, the final goal of our life, Apavarga. These three, Dharmartha, Kamas are Varga, a group. Apavarga is not this cluster of three, but it is moksha. So in Trivarga Sadhana, we must, by Trivarga Sadhana, we must aim for Apavarga, moksha. Now the fifth advice is Satya na pramaditavyam. Should not neglect truth. Don't come away from Satya. We should know the truth correctly, should never tell lie, asatya. By studying Vedas near the Guru, we know what is truth. Sometimes worldly matters may create a sort of illusion. Then in case of truth, so at that time, suppose the Bhranti or the illusion, asad jnana, that is wrong knowledge comes to people, they must be very cautious immediately. So you must be careful in knowing what is dharma and what is the Bhranti of dharma. So the path of truth should never be ignored, should be taken care with utmost care. Now, sixth point is dharma na pramaditavyam. Similarly, care should be taken not to make any mistakes in following dharma, because sometimes even adharma appears as if it is dharma. So one should be very careful in practicing dharma. We must know what is dharma, then we should know our swadharma. We must have the fixed attention, nishtha, as we say, satya nishtha, dharma nishtha, dharma acharana must be there. We should not get deviated from dharma acharana. So thus the master emphasized the importance of satya and dharma once again. Now seventh point is kushala na pramaditavyam. Kushala means well-being, safety. In the olden days when we are writing letters, we used to write kshemam at the top, then write the matter. So we should not make any mistakes in recognizing and practicing what brings us well-being. What is our kshema? What is our shreyas? We must be very careful in elevating our noble qualities, atma gunas. We must be careful. So that is the kushalatva, that is the kushala. So that by which karma we protect ourselves and gain elevation of our atma, our soul. Kushan lati iti kushalaha, they say. All the people, disciples, they used to pluck the grass, darpa. Darpas, the edges would be very sharp. Several times they wound, they hit and create wound to the hand while plucking. So the one who is capable of plucking the darpas without getting any injury is called as kushali. So one who is kushala is kushali. Kushan lati iti. So that is what is said, kushala. Now, bhutyaina pramaditavyam is the eighth one. Bhuti means Aishwarya. Vibhutir bhutir Aishwaryam, it is said. So the prosperity, the real wealth, the real prosperity of all human beings is to get liberation, to get real knowledge, Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana, and of course, worldly wealth, health, name and fame, they are also Aishwarya. So in acquiring moksha, we should be very careful. We should not fall in greediness. We should be very attentive in this manner, in this way. Now, ninth one is Swachaya Pravachanapyam na pramaditavyam. we should not neglect our Swadhyaya and Pravachana. Swadhyaya is Achena, learning ourselves. Pravachana is speaking to others, giving instructions to others, imparting and passing on the knowledge by Pravachana. Prakristam Vachanam Pravachanam, great good words, not ordinary. Swadhyaya is Swa Achyaya, learning what we have to learn. That is Vedachayana, and Pravachana is preaching. So both these should be taken care. It should never be neglected. So if we do not teach what we have learned to others, then that knowledge becomes waste and useless. Jirnamange Subhashitam is a saying by Bhartruhari in his Subhashitas. Bhartruhari said, those who know the knowledge, botharo matsara grastaha prabhavaha smayadushitaha abodhopahatas Jirnamange Subhashitam. Those who know, the great scholars, they are paraspara, mutually they are envious on each other. And kings, they are very proud and arrogant. They never take care of great scholars and all. Mostly they, not all, but sometimes. And ordinary people, they are illiterate and ignorant people. So even though great persons are there having great knowledge, because other scholars are not giving encouragement, people are not ignorant and kings are not encouraging, Jirnamange Subhashitam, the knowledge of the Shastras, which is inherent in them, is getting destroyed when they are dying, leaving body and going away. So, Athiti Bodha Acharana Pracharana. In this fourfold manner, the knowledge gets expanded. So, we must study, we must teach, we have to practice, we must give propaganda. Now, 10th point is Deva Pitru Karyabhyam na pramaditavyam. One should be attentive in performing Deva Karyas and Pitru Karyas. Deva Karyas are actually doing the deeds related to God. That is worshipping normally. Devakarya is doing Nitya Naimitika karmas, pujas, yajnayagadi kratas also can be called as Devakaryas, and later this Pitrukarya means the works related. When mother and father, they leave the body doing Aurtvadaihika karmas, then Tadinas we say, Srartha karmas, then Pitrukaryas as we say. Then Rishi Runa would be cleared by doing, studying the Vedas, Shastras and all. So now next from 11th point to 14th point, all these are Veda Anushasanas, commands. Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atithi Devo Bhava. All these four are to be followed. So these four Adeshas are very important and to be followed by entire mankind. They are also universal commands like Satyam Vada Dharmanjara. So if king's commands are obeyed, he gets very much pleased. So similarly, if we follow the commands of Paramatma, even Paramatma would be very much pleased by us and he would bless us to be very healthy, hale and happy. So we have to follow the instructions of Paramatma and please him. So Matru Devo Bhava means worship your mother like God. Mata, they said, even though so many words are there to speak about the mother. So all living creatures are first indebted to mother only, to their mother. So because enduring so many sufferings, hardships, she gives birth to us and takes care of us. So Janani, Janaitri, Amba, etc. several words are there, but Veda took the word Mata, Matru Devo Bhava. Why Mata only? Because Mati Vartate Garbhaha Atra iti Mata. Mother keeps the embryo in her and bears nearly that burden for 10 months nearly. in the womb bears that, protects, and then makes the child come out. And after coming out also, throughout the life, mother and father would be taking care of children, especially during Shaishava. The mother has to do a lot of service to the child. So mother is the first God to everyone in the world. So you love your mother, respect her, honor her, fulfill what all she asks you to do. Jivato vakya karanat pratyabdihi bhuri bhojanat gayayam pindadanena tribhi putrasya putrata. When mother and father are alive, we must follow their words without listening to them, without honoring them, and without taking care of them at the old age. If they do any work, that would not give any sort of merit to people. So Matru Devo Bhava is the first. Mother gave first place. Even in Shastra and Vedas also. Upachyayan dasha acharyaha. Acharyanam shatam pita. Sahasram tu pitrun mata gauravena atirichyate. Such is the highest position given to the mother. The Shastra gave the highest place. Then father. Pati iti pita, we say. Pita also, Janaka is there, Tata is in Sanskrit, and Tata means father, and Pita is there, but Veda selected the word Pita, Pitru Devo Bhava. Why Pita? Pa, to protect. So protection, the father protects the children and educates them, takes care of the well-being and health and wealth of the children. So Pitru Devo Bhava. After mother, father is to be respected and honored and taken care. In fact, mother and father, both of them are same. Both of them are to be respected equally, because it is the father who is the cause for the birth of the child. So the mother excels father in 1,000 times, they said. Even then, both are equally to be respected. Then Guru, Acharya. Acharya is to be respected as God, because mother and father, they give birth only to the physical body, whereas the knowledge would be given and imparted by the Guru only. So it is the Acharya who makes this person reborn again by Veda Vijnana. So Guru is to be worshipped. Guru Govinda do kadai kake lagum pau. Balihari Guru apne Govinda diyo bata, says even Kabir Das. When God and Acharya, both of them are there, first we must bow down to Acharya, Guru, then to God, because it is the Guru who showed God to us, who made God to come to us. So Acharya, Guru is the to be honored first. The parents give birth to only physical body, and even in Raghuvamsha, the king, Prajanam Vinayathanat Rakshanat Paranadapi Sapita Pitarastasam Kevalam Janma Ketavaha. While Raghu Solar dynasty kings were the rulers, parents just used to give birth to the children, but it is the king who is taking care of them and educating them and providing all facilities. That is how the ruling was there. Nowadays, the Prabhutva has to take care of the children. Then Atithi Devo Bhava, Acharya. After Acharya comes Atithi. Atithi means, we say one who comes without any Tithi, Vara, Nakshatra, etc. That is one explanation. Actually, real meaning of Atithi is one who would never stay more than a Tithi Kala, a Tithi. Tithi changes. Similarly, Atithi, one who has come to our house, would also leave and go away. So normally in the olden days, people used to go on pilgrimage and all by walk, because no other transportation was there at that time. So they used to come to any house at mid-afternoon. To whichever house they come, they receive it proper honor and give them food. They eat and take rest a while, and then again start walking. During night time, either in satras and somewhere, they used to take rest. and again they move on. So like that they would be moving on till they reach that Kasi or Gaya or somewhere. So they are called as Atithi. Atithirvai Narayanaka. So the Atithi, the guest, is to be honored as equal to Lord Vishnu. So Satatam Atati iti Atithihi. One who always keeps moving by serving the guests, and we keep this tradition of doing Atithi Puja. So by that one can develop Dana Guna also. Now 15th point is Yan Yanavajyani Karmani Tani Sevitavyani No Itarani Yan Yasmakagum Sucharitani Tani Tvaya Upasyani Tvayopasyani No Itarani. This is what the Acharya is telling to the disciples. This is the instruction to them, that mostly all the students, they want to follow their guru. They like the guru, they respect the guru. So they keep him, the Acharya, as the model for them. So for that, knowing this fact, the guru is now saying, he is instructing that what all good deeds we did, what all good we are speaking, that you follow. But because even we are human beings only, and sometimes guests will be coming, relatives would be coming in, while chit-chatting and talking freely, we might have uttered some words. Do not take those words as the ideal, because our master uttered once that word, even I would say, no, that is not good. So, seeing the context and Sandarbha and Purva Para, we have to understand and get the meaning of those words. So, because we are your gurus taking us as ideal, you may want to follow us by all means, but that is not good. If any human errors occur, either in utterance or in doing also sometimes, then you should not take that as ideal. So you have to take only our virtues, our knowledge, our behavior of good deeds, you take as ideal. Avajya means wrong. Anavajya, that which is not wrong, that is good. It should be anavajya. So be careful while watching us and following us. So attentive in doing pious and meritorious deeds. Wise deeds only you have to follow. Ramavat vartitavyam natu Ravanavat. Sucharita means good conduct, good behavior, character. Now 16th point is Yekecha asmat shreyagum so brahmanaha tesham tvaya asanena prishvasitavyam. Those who are our well-wishers, who are Brahmins, who are gurus, and who are great scholars and noble people, when such people come to us, or when we happen to approach such people, always honor them, give them respect, give due respect to them. Suppose while traveling also, such a person if comes, immediately you should get up from your seat and offer the seat to them, to the elders, gurus, and knowledgeable people. Such great people who offer the merit of their penance for the welfare of entire universe, they should always be honored and respected. So Shastra says that whoever honors such great noble people, their lives will be safe in their swasthanas in the body. They will not try to move away and go away, leaving the body. So such great people would live long, longevity would come to them. This that is, if we serve elders, our span of life increases. This is the meaning. So now 17th Prabodha is, it is also a cluster of good advices as to how to donate, how to do dana. Dana guna or tyage naikena amritatva manasuhu, we say. Upanishad only said. So we must get immortality by tyaga guna. For that, dana is also very essential. Dana guna and Tyaga guna. Tyaga is more greater than Dana, because Dana is Da Yecha, to give Yechati. Da is the root for Dana. So whatever we possess, out of them something would be given to somebody. That is Dana. But Tyaga means whatever we are possessing, and the need of which is utmost, we need that at that time. We are in much need of that. Even then, suppose we come to know that somebody is in the necessity of this one, or somebody comes and requests for that, immediately we must offer it to them. That is called as Tyaga. Ranti Devas is called as Tyaga. So that's Tyaga guna is also there. So Sraddhaya Deyam, Asraddhaya Adeyam, Sriya Deyam, Hriya Deyam, Bhiya Deyam, Samvida Deyam. All these together can be explained as one item, we can say. So Dana is very important. One person, a beggar, went to the house of a rich person and requested for Pancharunas and Panchamaha Yajnas, both are same, no difference. So he said, Adatva madrusho mapuh datva tvam twadrusho bhava. So because you have donated previously and in previous births, you are in the position of giving to others. Because I did not do any dana in my previous births, I am in the state of begging. So please give me something and be as a giver. Take birth as a giver, as an Aishwaryavan. So adatva, without giving me, madrushaka mapu, do not become like me as a beggar. Tatva, having given to me, please give me something, and tvam twadrusho bhava, you be like you only. So how to give dana? The characteristics, the method of donation is given. Sraddhaya deyam, it should be given with utmost sraddha. So Sraddha means having a sort of confidence, nishtha, and then giving. So Sraddha is also called as divine, God itself, and divine quality. And Asraddha, without Sraddha, carelessly, we should not give anything. Suppose somebody comes and asks for something, some people give with much modesty and vinaya and do namaskara. That thus we must give Sraddha. With Sraddha we have to do. Because we do with Sraddha, it is called as Sraddha Karma. Somebody, if someone comes and asks for something, they just throw that. That is with negligence they are giving. Asraddha, one should not do like that. Then Sriya Deyam, whatever property they got befitting to that, they must give dana. Khri means lajja. With bashfulness, we must donate, thinking that I am able to give only this much and not very high. Bhiya deyam, with the fear we must give. With the fear, because we must recognize whether that person to whom we are giving something, is he the worthy person or not. If to a drunkard we give money, he goes and drinks and spoils the health. So we should be careful in donating something also. And also Bhiya deyam means with the fear of, with respect and interest when we are giving. This may or may not be sufficient to that person. Am I giving some completely sufficiently or not? With that hesitation, Priya comes. Then Samvida. Samvit means knowledge. With Samvida, we must give donation. Anything, whatever we give, with Samvida, with knowledge, knowing that what we are giving, we must know. And how we are giving, we must know. So thus we have to give. Rantideva, he kept fast for several days along with his family. And after so many days, maybe after a week or something, he got some food, flour. Then that lady, she just prepared that for eating, befitting to eat. Then they did puja, offered that as Naivedya. Then 4 of them, that is called as actually a fried rice powder, Pelala Pindi, we say. While 4 of them are sitting, and when Rantideva is about to do Auposana and take it, one guest comes and says, Bhiksham Dehi, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi, like that. When the guest has come, 4 of them went there, offered, invited him. Then Rantideva offered his portion to eat him. That person ate, but he could not get satisfied. The wife also gives her portion. After eating that, also his stomach is not full. So the son also gives his portion. Then eating that also his stomach is not filled. Then even the daughter-in-law offers that. He eats all the 4 portions of 4 of them. Still water is there. So even that water is given to them, so that these people could not drink even water. So he drank water fully. Then he expressed his happiness that his stomach is filled. That is the Tyaga Guna. So without eating that, they could not have survived at all. Since several days, nothing they could obtain. So, but these people never felt anything. They became very happy that they could serve, they could feed a great Atithi. Then when he washes, Rantideva washes the feet and pours the water over his head and all the heads of others, then he appears in his original form of God, Devendra, and blesses Rantideva to regain his kingdom and be happy with all prosperity. So now the Vedamata instructing us how we should donate all these things, Shraddha, this, that, and all. So this 18th point is, Yadite karma vichikitsa va vritta vichikitsa va syat. So what all we should do, we must do without any doubt and hesitation. Actually, when any person comes and requests for something, then at that time itself we say, Yachanantam ki gauravam. The moment he is requesting, we must be very careful that because he is in much necessity of that, he has come. Otherwise, he would not have come. So he gave us the chance to serve him. We should not ill-treat him because we are givers and he is the receiver. Actually, he himself might be feeling ashamed to ask, but because there is no other way, he has come. So such care, that is bhiyadeyam. So with such a feeling, we must give, that is for bhiya. So now, atha yetite karma vichikitsa va vritta vichikitsa va syat. What we should do, we should, if we get any doubt about any ritual or anything, what is to be done and what is not to be done, because at the Gurukula, Acharya is there. After leaving the Gurukula and stepping into society, many doubts would be coming naturally while putting them into practice. So then what to do? At that time, suppose one gets any doubts, what he has to do is, he must inquire with the elders who are aware of that knowledge. So, ye tatra brahmanaka sammarshinaka yuktaka ayuktaka alukshaka dharma kamaka syuhu yatha te tatra vartayaran tatha tatra vartetaka. There you observe the Brahmins and great scholars who have knowledge of those subjects in which you got doubt. Those who are well versed in Vedas, Shastras and all, who got intellectual power to judge well, and you follow them, take their advice. Do not ask those people who are aluksha, we must approach. Ruksha means very hard. Those who are very harsh and hard, even though they may be having knowledge, don't approach them. Because even if the serpent is having the diamond on it, nobody approaches the serpent to take that money. So thus similarly, those arrogant scholars, though may be having knowledge, you should not approach them. Alukshaka, ruksha and all. So such words we must be very careful. because what all elders are doing, ordinary people follow. Even Sri Krishna Paramatma said, Yajjed acharati sreshtaha tattadeva itaro janah sayat pramanam kurite lokas tadanu vartate. So the ordinary people follow the actions of great persons. Whatever act they do, common people follow. So Acharya is advising them to follow those Brahminical, rational, austere and conservative and virtuous people only. So Vedas are for Ishta Prapti and Anishta Parihara. So one should acquire Veda Vijnana with Guru Susrusha and gain the knowledge. By practice that should be retained by them. So taking Brahma Jnanis as ideal, we should lead our lives. So Sammarshitva means having the grasping power and also to possess the power of proper discrimination. So those who have such power are Sammarshinaka. Yuktaha means one who has yoga. Yogaha karmasu kaushalam. So having the skill in doing those works. So ayuktaha means having interest in sadbhavas and satkarma charana on his own, not because of somebody else's force on him to do that work. Aluksha means arukshatva. Rukshatva is harshness and hardness. So those who possess sattvika gunas must be approached and not by approaching other people. So sattvika gunas must be there, not rajasa or tamasa. Now dharma kamatva is having intense longing for concentrating on dharma only. So the very nature of dharma raja is to follow dharma, to practice dharma, he said. So dharma charana is his very nature. Ramo vigrahavan dharmaka. So the 6 qualities described here, Brahmanatva, Samarshitva, Yuktatva, Ayuktatva, Arukshatva, Dharmikatva. And also such other virtues and qualities exist in several noble people. We should take care of them as the ideal. So in our epics and mythology and history, we find such great personalities whom we should keep as models and ideal. Great personalities only, and try to follow them. We should study and understand Sri Ramachandra's Satyanishta, Dharmaraja's Dharmanishta, Satya Harishchandra's Satya Samrakshana. Then the Datrutva of Shiva Chakravarti, Ranti Deva, and Dharma Pravartana of Shankha, Likita, etc. Brothers and all human beings must possess all these traits. Then 19th Amsha is taught by Acharya as Athapyaakhyateshu ye tatra brahmanaka sammarshinaka yuktaha ayuktaha alukshaha dharmakamaka syuku yatha te teshu varteran tatha teshu vartetha. Akhyata means side story. Mahabharata got hundreds of upakhyanas, akhyanas and upakhyanas. There are many stories. So you may get confused that because they are doing, even we must do. Suppose Jamadagni Maharshi commanded his son Parasurama to cut his mother's head because he followed the Pitrudevo Bhava. So we must follow the words of father. If your father asks you to do any harm to anybody, you should not do, because Parasurama is aware of the greatness of his father Jamadagni. So he knows that even if he follows the words of father, father got the power and capacity to revive his mother and other brothers also, whom he cut by the command of the father. So because he knows that, and also he knows that because Jamadagni, he is a Brahmarshi and Divyarshi, almost very great noble person, and Renuka Devi, actually the power of Chichakti, Jaganmata, is his wife. So because the father wanted to do some purification to his mother, his mother in the sense his wife, here Parasurama's mother. So Parshurama immediately, without any hesitation for even a second, whatever his father said, he followed. But then immediately being pleased by that, the father asked him to choose any boon. Then he requested his father to revive his mother and brothers, and he revived. So such anecdotes would be there, but we should not follow them. We have to follow what is to be followed. So be very careful. And at the end, we always repeat 3 times Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. Why 3 times we repeat? Because to ward off the difficulties and troubles that are going to befall on us. Adhyatmika, Adhi Bhautika, and Adhi Daivika tapas. Adhi Daivika tapa we say. So Adhyatmika is the fever, etc. Diseases that come to us. Adhi Bhautika is the troubles being created by either serpents or animals or co-living human beings, neighbors also. Adhi Daivika is tsunamis, floods, earthquakes, etc. given by God. So we must be very careful. So to ward off them, we repeat 3 times Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi and all. So this is how we must follow. This is the instruction given to all the disciples by Guru, by the Acharya. So while following Purana Purushas, we must be very careful, because so many, even in Puranas and also at some historical incidents also, some items might have happened which could not be just followed blindly by ordinary people, because we are all not so high physically, mentally, spiritually. All those persons at that time got spiritual power in them. So those who got such power alone are capable of following them and imitating them. Actually, what Shastra says is Ramavat Vartitavyam. One should always try to acquire good qualities like Sri Ramachandra, and na Ravanavat. Never be like Ravana, lustrous and all. Then also, we must take noble people as our ideals, ideal people, and not others. Even from gurus only, their knowledge and good behavior, good virtues, we have to keep as ideal and elevate ourselves. So this is the instruction given by the guru to the teacher. If any doubt, you can ask me. In the next class, we will start the Keshanta Samskara and Rajaswala Samskara to the girls. That would be 13th Samskara. First for today.
ధన్యవాదాలు విశాలాక్షి గారు. Now we can take up a few questions, and before anyone asks, I have a question. You said 3 runas are there.
Yes.
Deva runa, Guru runa, and Pitru runa.
Yes.
Why Matru runa is not included?
Pitru runa means both are same.
Okay.
Pitacha. Pitru runa means Pitru runa. Actually, Pitru runa is not of either mother or father. Pitru runa is runa which we have to clear to the ancestors, the departed people.
Okay.
Not for mother or not only for father. To
Okay.
all the people for 3 generations. We keep mother's mother-in-law, again grandmother, and then her mother-in-law. Father, his father, and his father. All of them come under Pitru Runa.
Okay, thank you very much. Padmaja garu, you have a question? Be brief, please.
Namaskaram Andi. So actually yesterday you were telling about the Muhurta for Upanayana Samskara.
Yes.
When it is done earlier, much earlier before marriage, they see those Muhurtas. But some people does it before exactly the marriage. Then should we see the Muhuratam, or just like that before marriage they can perform the Upanayana Samskara?
Is the use of performing just like that before the marriage, it is of waste. That is what our Shastra is saying. Garbhastame we must do following the Shastra, either for Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and all, as per the rule. Suppose at that age we could not do, at least later, after 1 year, after 2 years, before 15, 16 years at least. But not just before the marriage. If they do the Upanayana, that is useless waste. What is the use of that?
Okay.
The Vatu must be capable of following, doing Sanchya Vandana, Agnikarya, Gayatri Mantra, Japa. Even at that time also, they must see for Upanayana, an auspicious Muhurta for Upanayana, then they can keep the Muhurta for marriage. Then at that way, at least they must do. And after performing Upanayana, the person, the youth, must be capable of doing, definitely should allot time and do Sanchya Vandana. Then the purpose would be, of course, fulfilled at least. So before marriage also, if you want to do Upanayana, you must see Subha Muhurta to the Upanayana. Then after that, you can keep Muhurta for marriage.
Okay.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
Dr. Sujit, please.
Good morning, madam. When we talked about the Parasara Smriti, the Vidya Snataka, Vrata Snataka, and the Vivaha Snataka, you said the first two, they're combinedly also called a name you gave. I couldn't catch the name.
Ubhaya Snataka.
Ubhaya.
Ubhaya means both. Ubhaya Snataka together. Vidya Snataka and Vrata Snataka together are called as Ubhaya Snatakas because they are of one type. And the Snataka before marriage is of another type. These two are the, that is, they are Vaidika. Of course, three are Vaidika only, but that is related with the enjoyments, whereas these two are related with gaining Brahmajnana knowledge. So connected to this. So these two are a little different from that Snataka.
Dhanyawad.
Okay. Padma Pregar. Yep.
Namaskaram, Mahoday. I have a question on the Guru Gotra. I've heard in tradition that sometimes the Sishyas are taking the lineage of the Guru and their Gotra is associated with the Guru. Is that a tradition in our culture?
Of course, it is there. Those who are unaware of the Gotra, sometimes Guru may permit them to take their Gotra because they are his own children, students. Disciples means children only. He takes care of them as if they are their children. So sometimes it may be there. But actually, those who do not know their Gotra, that would be called as Kasyapa Gotra. Kasyapaha Pasyati, we say the elder one. So Kasyapa Gotra they used to call.
Okay.
Jabali, he does not know his Gotra because he is not at all aware of that. Even then, Guru accepted him as Shishya and taught him. So he might be called by the Gotra of Guru only.
Guru.
Okay. There's a question in the chat box. Among the Pancharunas, how is Sangharuna fulfilled?
Sangharuna would be cleared by following all the words of all others and honoring them. This point actually I explained, though not as Sangharuna. We pay homage, we respect each and every Vritti persons, our neighbors, from whomever we take any object or anything, we give them respect, we give something or other. For Kamsali, thus I spoke about all Vritti Vidya's people, every time we honor them. And neighbors also we honor, we give proper respect to them. That is how, by being friendly and with helping nature to all the individuals, our people, neighbors, Sangharuna can be cleared. Actually, what all capacities we got, that capacities must be utilized for the well-being of all humanity, to whomever, at least as far as our capacity. Those who got money must donate. Those who got knowledge must impart to others and teach and preach. Those who got any skill of doing anything, they must utilize that. Thus, serving the people of the Sangha is clearing the Sangha Runa. Then Bhuta Runa. Bhuta Runa is taking care of all animals, birds, beasts, and all, keeping food for them, providing water to them, birds and beasts and all, that and not afflicting any living being is clearing Bhuta Runa.
Okay, Radha Kumari garu, be brief, please. Radha Kumari garu. Okay, Dr. Sujit, you can ask your question. Yeah.
Yeah, Madam, one more confusion that after the Snataka Utsava can be done on the Pausha Shuddha Purnima or the Rohini Nakshatra.
Any of them.
Yeah, but the Guru Dakshina is done on the Ashadha Purnima.
Ashadha Paurnami.
So what is how much time is there between the Snataka Utsava and the Guru Dakshina time? How many months?
Time is only after completing the education. So only after completing 14 years, 15 years of education, then only on Ashadha Paurnami, Guru Dakshina would be given. This Paushya Masa, they can start for students at any time. Whenever they come, they can start. We should not count the gap between them. Ashadha, actually, we know, after Ashadha comes Ravana, Bhadrapada, Asvija, Kartika, Margasira, Pushya. So the months we can count, but the time is not to be counted. That is the Muhurta, that's all as per Shastra.
Okay. Okay, we'll take the next question after the Prardhana. So, Padma Priya garu, please, excuse me, only after Prardhana, please. Okay. Padma Priya garu, can you do the Prardhana, please?
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितो ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः अपुत्राः पुत्रिणः सन्तु पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अधनाः सधनाः सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदां शतम् सत्यं वद धर्मं चर स्वाध्यायान्मा प्रमदः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु स्वस्ति
सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु स्वस्ति. ధన్యవాదాలు పద్మ ప్రియ గారు. థ్యాంక్స్ ఫర్ ద ప్రార్థన. Now Janaganamana Venkat Narayan garu, please, all of you rise for the national anthem.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभाशिष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे. जय हिंद.
Thank you, Venkat Narayan garu. One more question is there from Radha Kumar garu. If you are still there, you can ask now. Radha Kumar garu, are you there? Yeah, Venkat Narayan garu, you want to ask any question, you can ask.
Ma'am, yesterday's question, the Gayatri mantra is the most powerful. But they say there is a curse by Brahma, Vasishtha and Vishwamitra for that. Why it is so, and whether it is only for occult powers when we do japam, or daily normal course without any desire we are doing, for that it applicable. Kindly tell us.
Yes, of course, they say there is curse in fact, and also there are so many other stories how they came. They are not actually in Puranas, but somebody, they are giving so many types of stories which are creating confusion, in fact, among public. Curses would be there even to the gods, even to the mantras by sages, because ordinary people must become capable of following them properly without misusing them. So curse means that is not actually the curse. They say they have cursed. The curses of sages or even gods, they are always for the benefit of mankind, humanity only. Even to the gods also for their benefit only. If they did any wrong deeds, even gods do. So gods also curse gods, even that is there. The more powerful would be giving instructions to lower powerful people like that. So now actually Gayatri Mantra nowadays people are keeping as ringtones for their cell phones or as calling bells. And even in the schools, people are, the teachers, they should have the common sense and knowledge of Shastras. They are making the children, students recite while they are having this shoes and everything to the feet. With the shoes to the feet, one should never recite. While standing, one should not recite like that here and there whenever they are. There is a process of, this is mantra and highest, greatest mantra we said. Normal mantra, if a person gets accustomed to do japa continuously, he can recite mentally, manasika, automatically it would be rotating. But while doing physically, the rules must be followed. So curse in the sense, of course, they Purana, in some Puranas it is there that the sages cursed them. Even the Gautama Maharshi cursed a sect of Brahmins also, that they would forget what all Veda Vijnana they have studied, because those Brahmins behaved as if they are not Brahmins. They created a sort of something. So maybe you know all these incidents. So many stories are interconnected. So they are not to be considered as real chapas, but under the pretext of cursing, they kept a sort of rules and restrictions, the way how to follow, how to recite, how to get the power of that Veda mantra, Gayatri mantra, japa, phala, I think.
Yeah, Suresh Garu, you can ask.
I have a similar question on the same lines, Mahoday. Yesterday in the class, you were talking about the Purva Gayatri mantra. I think for those who did not get the
Purana Gayatri.
Purana Gayatri. So the purpose of that is for people who have not gone through the Brahmopadesham?
Yes.
And
so,
can you recite that again if you don't mind?
Yo Devaha Savitasmakam. Yes, I will write and send it to you in the group. Yo Devaha Savitasmakam Thiyo Dharmadi Gocharaha Prerayet Bhargayettasya Tadvarenyam Upasmake. Two are there, two I will write and give you. All these, both these two are as powerful as that of that original Gayatri mantra. And even without Upadesha, they can recite. Even small children also can recite. Even women who are not having this Uparayana Samskara, even we can recite, provided we are at Suchi. That Saucha is important. After taking bath, sitting at a place with utmost devotion and Shraddha, respect, we can recite any of them.
So can this be part of the daily puja routine? Yes. We light lamp, we do. So women can chant this out. Yes. Can it be chanted out loud or in
japa?
Like japa silently?
We can do japa also of these. We can utilize them as puja or as japa also. We can do japa of this mantra. as people, Brahmins and others, they did this Gayatri mantra, Tripada Chaturvinsati Akshara Gayatri mantra japa. We can do mantra japa of this sloka.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much, Vishalakshmi,
Thank
for
you.
the question and answer session and the class as such. Thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow again. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Thank you.
I'll close for the day.
Okay, thank you.